The notification pinged while I was transferring another $1,000 to my parents' account. Just a quick Instagram story from my sister London. Nothing unusual there. Except this time the image made my finger freeze mid-scroll. Her perfectly manicured hand draped over the steering wheel of a brand new Mercedes convertible. My name is Patricia, and I've spent the last decade being the responsible daughter. The one who sends money home every month for my parents' supposed medical bills, mortgage payments, and endless emergencies. I'm 32, living in a modest one-bedroom apartment, driving a 12-year-old Honda, and postponing my dreams of starting my own business. All because family comes first, right? Pat, you won't believe what just happened. Heidi's voice crackled through my phone speaker. I barely heard her. My trembling fingers were tapping through London's Instagram stories, each one worse than the last. Hold on, Heidi, I whispered. I need you to look at something. A designer shopping hall in Paris, a beachfront villa in Greece, weekend trips to Milan. Each post tagged with bar blessed and thankful for parents. What am I looking at? Heidi asked after I shared the screen. My sister's Instagram. The sister whose art supplies I've been helping to fund. The same sister whose basic living expenses in Europe I've been supporting through mom and dad. Because, and I quote, she's pursuing her passion but struggling to make ends meet. Oh my God, Heidi breathed. How long has this been going on? I scrolled back through the feed. 6 months of luxury posts, 6 months of my parents calling me in tears about medical bills and mortgage payments, 6 months of me eating ramen for dinner so I could send them extra money. My phone buzzed. Mom calling. I put it on speaker. Patricia, sweetheart, her voice wavered with practiced fragility. Your father's medication costs went up again, and we're a little short this month. How much, Mom? I kept my voice steady, even as my hand clenched around my phone. Just 2,000. I hate asking, but you know how these things are. Through the speaker, I heard the distinct clink of ice in a glass. The same sound from all those emergency video calls where they sat in their darkened living room, telling me about their financial struggles. Except now I noticed the designer lamp in the background, the new artwork on their walls. Of course, Mom. Family helps family, right? My voice didn't even shake. By the way, how's London doing? Still struggling with her art? A pause. Too long. Oh, you know your sister. Always finding her way. I opened London's latest post, time-stamped 2 hours ago. Off to Florence for a private showing. Mom and Dad are the best sponsors an artist could ask for. Actually, Mom, it looks like she's doing great. The Mercedes suits her. The sharp intake of breath on the other end was all I needed to hear. Patricia, we can explain. No need. I cut her off, my voice arctic. The Instagram posts explain plenty. I'll send the money. Wouldn't want London to miss her art showing. I hung up before she could respond. My hands were shaking as I opened my banking app. 7 years of transfers, hundreds of thousands of dollars. All those nights I worked overtime, all those vacations I never took, all those dreams I put on hold. My phone lit up with a text from London. OMG, sis! Mum said you're helping with my Florence trip. You're the best. Love you. I stared at the message until the words blurred. Then I opened Excel and created a new spreadsheet. At the top I typed, the price of being the good daughter. Heidi? I picked up my phone again. Remember that lawyer friend of yours you mentioned? The one who specializes in family fraud cases? I need his number. I'll do better than that, Heidi replied. I'll set up a meeting for tomorrow. Pat, what are you going to do? I looked at my sister's smiling face in her latest post, at my parents' number still lighting up my phone, at my sad little apartment that I kept because every spare dollar went to them. I'm going to show them exactly what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. The next notification was another text from London. Shopping for the perfect outfit for Florence. Think Mom and Dad will help me get the Gucci dress. I smiled as I typed my response. "Don't worry, sis, you'll get exactly what you deserve." My phone rang at exactly 7:30 p.m, right on schedule for my parents' weekly guilt trip. I let it ring twice, using those seconds to steady my breathing, before answering. "Patricia!" Mom's voice dripped with excitement. "We have the most wonderful news." I pressed my phone against my ear, curled up in my worn office chair, and waited. The same chair I'd been sitting in for countless late-night freelance projects, earning extra money for their emergencies. London got accepted into the Florence Art Institute. It's one of the most prestigious programs in Europe. Dad jumped in, his voice carrying that familiar nervous energy. The opportunity of a lifetime, really. They only accept 30 students worldwide. "That's amazing," I said, keeping my voice neutral. "Must be expensive." A pause. I could practically hear them exchanging glances through the phone. "Well, yes," Mom began carefully. "About that, we're in a bit of a situation. Aren't we always?" The words slipped out before I could stop them. "Patricia," Dad's voice took on that wounded tone I'd heard so many times before. "You know we wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. This could change your sister's entire future." I opened my laptop, pulling up the spreadsheet I'd been working on all week. "How much?" 18,000, Mom said quickly, like ripping off a Band-Aid. "For the first semester." I typed the number into my spreadsheet, right below the total I'd already sent them, 286,743 over 7 years. "That's a lot," I said. "We know it's asking a lot, sweetheart," Mom's voice softened. "But London's work is finally being recognised. Did you see the pieces she posted on Instagram? The gallery owner in Rome said—" "The one from her show at the Villa Borghese," I interrupted, "in her new Gucci dress." Another pause, longer this time. "Oh, you saw that?" Mom's voice wavered slightly. "That was a special occasion. London needed to make the right impression." "Right," I said, scrolling through my bank statements. "Just like the Mercedes was for networking and the Greek villa was for artistic inspiration." "Patricia," Dad cut in sharply, "what exactly are you implying?" "Nothing." I kept my voice light, just trying to understand how my struggling artist sister can afford luxury cars and designer clothes while you need my help with basic medical bills. "It's complicated," Mom began, but I wasn't finished. "Actually, I have some questions about those medical bills. I requested copies from your insurance company." "You did what?" Dad's voice rose. "Since I've been paying them, I thought I should have records. Funny thing, they show most of your expenses were covered. In fact, they show you haven't had any major medical expenses in the past 5 years. The silence on the other end was deafening. "Patricia," Mum's voice had lost its warmth, "this isn't like you questioning family like this." "You're right," I agreed. The old Patricia wouldn't question anything. She'd transfer the money right now, no matter what it cost her. "But I've been doing some math, Mom. Would you like to know what I found?" "We don't have to discuss this now. The money I've sent you over the years, it's enough for a house down payment. It's enough to start the business I've dreamed of. It's enough for London's luxury lifestyle in Europe. Interesting how that worked out, isn't it?" "If you're jealous of your sister," Dad started. I laughed, and the sound surprised even me. "Jealous? No, I'm awake. Finally." "So you won't help?" Mum's voice turned cold. "You'll let your sister lose this opportunity." I looked at the photo frame on my desk. Me at college graduation, bright-eyed and ambitious, before the years of family emergencies ground those ambitions to dust. "I'll think about it," I said carefully. "Send me the program details. I'll let you know by tomorrow." I hung up before they could respond. My hands were shaking as I opened a new email and began typing. To titus.stanleylawfirm.com. Subject: financial fraud consultation attachment. Barnes Honjar family transactions.xlsx. Dear Mr. Stanley, Heidi Griffin gave me your contact information. I need legal advice regarding systematic financial exploitation by family members. I've attached 7 years of documented transfers and evidence of misrepresentation. I'm ready to take action. Regards, Patricia. My phone buzzed with a text from London. Mum said you're being weird about the Florence thing. Don't be such a buzzkill, sis. I added the text screenshot to my evidence folder and named it Exhibit A, The Last Straw. They played me, didn't they? I pushed my untouched coffee across Heidi's kitchen table, spreading bank statements between us like tarot cards, telling a future I didn't want to see. Played you? Heidi snorted, sorting through the papers. Honey, they straight up scammed you. Look at this, $3,000 for emergency dental work in March. Same week your mum posted about their Napa Valley wine tour. Keep going, I said, pulling up my phone's notes. I've started tracking the patterns. Heidi grabbed another stack of statements. $5,000 for property taxes in June, while London was posting yacht pictures in Monaco. $4,000 for car repairs in August, right when she got that Mercedes. My phone buzzed. Another text from Mum. Patricia, please call us. We need to discuss London's tuition payment timeline. Block them, Heidi said firmly, reaching for her laptop. At least until we finish this audit. Now, let me show you something interesting. She pulled up London's Instagram profile on her computer. I work in digital marketing, remember? There's a tool we use to analyse influencer accounts. Watch this. A dashboard appeared showing London's posting patterns, engagement rates and tagged locations. See these sponsored posts? Heidi pointed to several luxury hotel tags. Your sister's been getting paid for promotional content. These deals typically range from $5,000 to $10,000 per post. I felt the blood drain from my face. So while they were begging me for money, she was making it, a lot of it. Heidi's fingers flew across the keyboard. Based on these metrics, I'd estimate she's pulled in at least $100,000 from social media alone this year. The doorbell rang, making us both jump. Heidi checked her security camera feed. Right on time, she smiled. That's Titus. The man who walked in carried a leather briefcase and radiated controlled anger. He took one look at the papers spread across the table and set his jaw. Heidi filled me in, he said, pulling up a chair. But seeing these numbers, this is worse than I thought. Can anything be done? I asked. Titus pulled out a legal pad. Oh, we're going to do plenty. First, tell me everything. Start with the first time they asked for money. For the next hour, I walked them through 7 years of manipulation. Every tearful phone call, every guilt trip, every promise of repayment that never came. Here's what we're dealing with, Titus said finally, tapping his notes. Financial exploitation, fraudulent misrepresentation, and possible identity theft if they used your information for any loans. Plus, there's a paper trail showing systematic transfer of your funds to support your sister's lifestyle under false pretenses. Identity theft? I echoed. Check your credit report, he advised. People who do this often escalate to opening accounts in family members' names. Heidi was already pulling up the credit monitoring site. My hands shook as I logged in. Oh, God, I whispered, staring at the screen. There's a student loan, $10,000. I never signed for this. Titus leaned forward. That's a federal crime. When was this opened? 3 months ago, right when London started that art program in Rome. Perfect, Titus smiled grimly. That gives us leverage. Here's what we're going to do. He outlined a plan that made my stomach clench, but my spine straighten. Legal notices, police reports, formal demands for repayment, a complete severance of financial ties. But first, he said, we document everything, every transfer, every text, every social media post that proves the money trail. We build a case so solid they can't wiggle out of it. My phone buzzed again. Dad, this time. Your mother's crying because of how you're acting. Is this how we raised you? Heidi saw my face and grabbed my phone. She typed a response. Patricia is unavailable. All future communication should go through her legal representative. Send that, I nodded. I'm done being their ATM. One more thing, Titus added, pulling out a business card. "This is a forensic accountant I work with. We need to know exactly how much they've taken and where it went. The numbers tell the story, and it's the story we'll use to bury them." "What about London?" I asked. She had to know where the money was coming from. "Oh, we'll get to her." Heidi's smile was sharp. "I've already archived every social post where she flaunted what they stole from you. She's not just complicit, she's broadcasting the evidence." My phone lit up with a final text from Mom. "If you do this, you're no daughter of mine." I showed it to Titus, who added it to his growing file of evidence. "Good," he said. "Let them dig their own grave. By the time we're done, they'll wish they'd never heard of the word emergency." For the first time in years, I felt something other than obligation when I thought about my family. I felt free. "Pats, oh my God, I've missed you so much." London's face filled my laptop screen, her perfectly styled hair catching the Italian sunlight, streaming through her window. Behind her I could see designer shopping bags scattered across an antique writing desk. "London," I smiled, hitting record on the screen capture software Titus had installed. "You look amazing. That apartment must be costing a fortune." "Oh, you know," she waved dismissively, adjusting her Cartier bracelet, the one I'd seen her unbox in an Instagram story the day after I'd sent Mum $3,000 for Dad's heart medication. "Actually, I don't know." I kept my voice light. "Tell me about it, about everything. We barely talk anymore." "That's because you're always working," she rolled her eyes. "I mean, it's cute how you still live in your same place, Pats. You're just loyal to routine, I guess." I thought about my apartment's leaking faucet I couldn't afford to fix because of last month's emergency roof repair at our parents' house. "Well, we can't all be living the dream in Florence." "Right," she beamed, reaching for something off-screen. "Look what Mom and Dad just sent me." She held up a Gucci handbag, price tag still dangling. My stomach clenched. Minimum $3,000, right there. "They're so supportive," I said carefully. "Must be nice." "Well, they always said you were best at giving." "Me?" She shrugged, admiring her reflection in her phone. "I'm the one who deserves things. I mean, I'm actually doing something with my life, you know?" The words hit like a physical blow. "What do you mean?" "Oh, don't be sensitive," she laughed. "It's just, you're so basic, Pats. Like, you work your little writing jobs, live in your little apartment. I'm out here creating art, making connections. Mum and Dad get that. They know investing in me will actually pay off." I took a deep breath, remembering Titus's advice. Let her talk. "And all those investments, the car, the apartments, the shopping, that's all? Mom and Dad?" "Mostly." She twirled a strand of hair. "I mean, they said some of it comes from you too, but that's what family does, right? Support the talented one?" My hands were shaking under the desk. "So you knew that I was sending them money for you?" "Duh," she rolled her eyes again. "Where did you think it all came from? Mum and Dad's retirement fund?" "Please, they've been using your money to help me succeed for years. It's actually really sweet how you never questioned it. And that seemed fair to you?" "Fair?" She laughed, the sound like breaking glass. "Life isn't fair, Pats. Some people are meant to be supporters, and some people are meant to be stars. You're just really good at supporting." I clicked to another tab, where my email to the Florence Art Institute was already drafted. "Tell me about this new program you're starting. The exclusive one?" Her face lit up. "It's amazing. Only 30 students worldwide. Mum and Dad are handling the tuition. Well, I guess you are too, right? They mentioned asking you for help." $18,000, I said quietly. "That's what they asked for." "Oh, good. So you're doing it, because I already put the deposit down on this gorgeous villa with some friends and—" "London," I cut her off. "When was the last time you actually sold a piece of art?" She blinked. "What?" "Your art. The reason for all this investment. How much have you actually earned?" "That's not the point," she bristled. "I'm building my brand, my following. These things take time." "And money," I added. My money! Something shifted in her expression, a flash of the calculation I'd never noticed before. Why are you being weird about this? It's not like you're using the money for anything important. Just my dreams, I said softly. My future. My life. Oh, please, she scoffed. What dreams? You're exactly where you've always been. At least I'm doing something meaningful with the money. I clicked back to my email tab. You know what's meaningful, London? Documentation, records, receipts. Her smile faltered. What are you talking about? I have to go, I said. Enjoy the Florence program while you can. What's that supposed to mean? I smiled, channeling her own dismissive tone. Oh, you'll see. By the way, that Gucci bag, it's a fake. The stitching is all wrong. It is not. Mom and Dad got it from the boutique in Milan. No, they didn't, because that money went to my account last week to cover their medical emergency. They bought it from a street vendor. Just like everything else about this situation, it's a cheap imitation of something real. I ended the call while she was still spluttering. Then I sent the email to the Florence Art Institute, attaching proof of the fraudulent loan applications and financial misrepresentation. My phone immediately lit up with a text from London. What did you just do? I blocked her number and opened my laptop to start drafting the legal complaints Titus had prepared. Time to show my sister what basic really looks like. Are you sure about this? Heidi asked, watching me sign the last page of Titus's carefully prepared documents. Watch, I said, pulling up my banking app. I transferred exactly $1 to my parents' account with a memo that made Titus smile. Final payment for services rendered. See attached legal notice. The certified letter sat on my desk, thick with documentation. 7 years of bank statements, screenshots, text messages, and a detailed itemization of every dollar they'd taken under false pretenses. Total amount, $286,143. Send it, I nodded to Titus. He picked up the letter, heavy with the weight of broken trust. Once this goes out, there's no going back. They'll receive it tomorrow morning. Perfect timing, Heidi said, checking her phone. London's latest Instagram story shows her shopping for first day of art school outfits. She has no idea what's coming. My phone buzzed, Mom calling again. I declined it and opened my email instead. The response from the Florence Art Institute was already there. Dear Miss Patricia, thank you for bringing these financial irregularities to our attention. We take fraud very seriously. We will be conducting a full review of the application and funding sources. They're going to find the fraudulent loan, Titus said. The one they took out in your name. That alone is enough to get her expelled. I nodded, then clicked send on 3 more emails we'd prepared. To my parents' country club, documenting their financial fraud. To their mortgage company, reporting suspected loan fraud. To the police, formally reporting identity theft. Now we wait, Titus said, gathering his papers. They'll receive the legal notice tomorrow at 9 a.m. Expect chaos by 9:01. Right on cue, my phone lit up with a text from London. Mom's crying because you won't answer her calls. Why are you being such a bitch? I showed it to Heidi, who'd been documenting everything. She added it to our evidence file, then helped me draft a response. All communication must go through my attorney. His contact information will be delivered tomorrow morning. Please direct your concerns to him. Ice cold, Heidi grinned. I love it. The next morning I sat at my desk with a cup of coffee, watching the clock tick toward 9 a.m. Heidi had stayed over, and Titus was on standby. 9:01 a.m., 3 missed calls from Mom. 9:02 a.m., 2 from Dad. 9:03 a.m., a string of texts from London. You can't do this to us. We're family. Do you know what this will do to my future? 9:15 a.m., an email from Mom. Subject line, how could you? Patricia, how dare you send this disgusting legal threat after everything we've done for you? We raised you, supported you, loved you, and this is how you repay us. by trying to destroy your sister's dreams. Your father is beside himself. If you don't withdraw this ridiculous letter immediately, you'll regret it. Think about what you're doing to this family. Mum." I forwarded it to Titus, who responded immediately. "Perfect. Their threatening response strengthens our case. Don't reply." 9:30 a.m. A notification from Instagram. London had posted a story. When toxic family members try to ruin your life because they're jealous of your success. I screenshot it and sent it to Titus. 10:12 a.m. The doorbell rang. Dad was there. "Don't open it," Heidi warned, checking the security camera. "Let me handle this." She opened the door just enough for the chain to catch. "Mr. Barnes, Patricia is not available. Any communication needs to go through her attorney." "This is ridiculous," he shouted. "She's destroying our family over a few loans." "A few loans?" Heidi's voice was steel. "Try nearly $300,000 in fraudulent transfers, identity theft, and documented deception. Leave now, or we'll add harassment to the charges." He left, but not before shouting, "You've always been jealous of your sister. You're nothing but a bitter, jealous failure." I sat at my desk, hands steady, as I typed one final email. To florence.artinstituteedu. ITI subject. Additional documentation attachment. Identity pasture theft police report.pdf. To whom it may concern, following my previous email, I'm attaching the police report regarding the fraudulent loan taken out in my name to fund London Barnes's tuition. I'm also copying the relevant authorities who are investigating this case. Regards, Patricia. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from Mom. "How could you do this to your family?" I smiled, remembering London's words. "Some people are meant to be supporters, and some people are meant to be stars." "No, Mom," I whispered, blocking her number. "How could you do this to me?" The Florence Art Institute's response came exactly 1 week after I sent the police report. I was having coffee with Malachi, the owner of the local business incubator space, when the email arrived. "They expelled her," I said, scanning the formal notice. "Effective immediately." Malachi leaned over to read. We'd been meeting regularly since I'd started exploring the idea of finally launching my own business. He'd become something more than a mentor, but we were both taking it slow. "Look at the last paragraph," he pointed. "They're reporting the fraudulent loan to the Department of Education." My phone buzzed. London's Instagram story. "When life throws you curveballs, throw them back harder. Watch me rise above the haters." "She still doesn't get it," I muttered. The cafe door chimed. I looked up to see my father walking in, his face ashen. "Patricia," he started toward our table. Malachi straightened. "Sir, I suggest you leave." "This is between family," Dad snapped. "No," I said quietly. "Family ended when you forged my signature on that loan application." He deflated slightly. "We were going to pay it back, like you paid back the other $300,000. That money went to your sister's future." "No," I stood up, keeping my voice low. "That money went to her Instagram lifestyle while I put my future on hold. Did you ever once think about my dreams?" "You're stronger than she is," he said, as if that explained everything. "You can handle real life. London needs consequences." I cut him off. "And so do you and Mom." My phone buzzed again. A notification from my credit monitoring service. Someone had tried to open a new credit card in my name. I held up my phone. "Like this? Trying to open more credit in my name even after being served legal notice?" His face gave it away. They'd really thought they could get away with it one more time. "We're desperate," he whispered. "The mortgage company called. They're reviewing our loans because of your report." "Good," I said. "They should, because I bet they'll find more fraud there too." The cafe door chimed again. Mom walked in, her designer handbag clashing with her tear-stained face. "Please," she started. "No," I gathered my things. Malachi, shall we continue this meeting at your office? Patricia, Mom grabbed my arm. London's devastated. They're making her leave her apartment. All her friends are abandoning her. Actions have consequences. I pulled away. You taught me that, remember? Every time you guilted me into sending money. We're your parents. No, I turned to face them fully. You're criminals who happen to share my DNA, and now everyone's going to know it. Right on cue, Heidi's blog post went live. My phone started pinging with notifications as the story spread. Family financial fraud. How parents stole their daughter's future to fund Instagram lifestyle. Mom's phone buzzed. Her face crumpled as she read something. The country club, she whispered. They're revoking our membership. Your mortgage company will be next, I said. Then the credit card companies. Funny how fraud allegations make everyone look closer at your finances. You've ruined us, Dad's voice shook. No, Malachi stepped in. You ruined yourselves. Patricia just stopped enabling it. My phone lit up with a FaceTime request from London. I answered, putting it on speaker. How could you? She screamed, her perfect makeup streaked with tears. They're making me leave the program. My friends won't talk to me. All my sponsorships are cancelling. Karma's interesting that way, I said calmly. I'm your sister. No, I corrected her. You're a spoiled brat who helped our parents commit fraud. Hope those Instagram posts were worth it. I hung up and turned to my parents. The police will probably contact you soon about the identity theft. I'd suggest getting a lawyer. We can't afford one, Mom whispered. Should have thought about that before spending all my money. I picked up my laptop bag. Malachi, let's go discuss my business plan somewhere quieter. As we walked out, I heard Mom collapse into tears and Dad making another desperate phone call. Their carefully constructed house of cards was falling, and they had no one left to prop it up. My phone buzzed one last time, a text from London. I'm going to tell everyone what a horrible person you are. I showed it to Malachi, who shook his head. She still thinks this is about social media drama, he said. No, I replied, blocking her number for good. She thinks this is about her. She hasn't realized yet that it's about justice. We walked to his office, leaving my parents behind in the cafe, surrounded by the ruins of their fraud-fueled fantasy. Your story just hit 50,000 shares, Heidi announced, scrolling through her analytics dashboard. The comments are wild. Listen to this one. If my parents stole $300,000 from me, they wouldn't just be getting legal papers, they'd be getting a one-way ticket to jail. We were sitting in Malachi's business incubator space, where I'd finally started working on my branding agency business plan. 3 weeks had passed since the legal notices went out, and the dominoes hadn't stopped falling. Speaking of jail, Titus walked in, waving a folder. The police want to move forward with identity theft charges, but that's not even the best part. He spread several documents across the table. The mortgage company's audit found 5 different instances of fraud. They're foreclosing. Your parents have 30 days to vacate their house. My phone buzzed. A news alert about London. Ever since Heidi's blog post went viral, my family's downfall had become something of a social media spectacle. London's GoFundMe page got taken down, I read aloud. Apparently, someone reported it for fraudulent claims. Heidi raised her hand innocently. She tried to claim she was the victim of familial financial abuse. The irony was too much. Malachi joined us, carrying coffee for everyone. Have you seen her latest Instagram post? She's selling her designer bags at consignment shops. I pulled up her profile. Her follower count had dropped from 100,000 to barely 5,000. Her latest post showed her standing in front of a small apartment building, caption reading, "Sometimes you have to start over, but watch me rise like a phoenix." That's her new place, Titus noted. Studio apartment in a not-so-great part of town, very different from her luxury villa in Florence. What about Mom and Dad? I asked. Heidi pulled up another screen. According to local listings, they're moving into the Pine Grove apartments. You know, the complex behind the mall? I knew it. basic 2-bedroom units, nothing like their sprawling house with the pool they'd maintained using my money. The country club membership cancellation hit them hard, Maliki added. Your mum's bridge club friends are apparently pretending they don't know her anymore. My phone rang, an unknown number. I put it on speaker. Patricia, it was Dad. Please, we need to talk. Any communication needs to go through my attorney, I recited. We're losing everything, his voice cracked. The house, our friends, our reputation. London's back home, sleeping on our couch. We can't help her anymore. Sounds like consequences, I replied. We're your parents. You can't just... Actually, I can. And I did. How's that loan fraud investigation going? He hung up. Titus smiled grimly. They'll be lucky to avoid jail time. The identity theft charges alone. Look at this. Heidi turned her laptop around. A local news website was running the story. Social media influencer families fall from grace. A tale of fraud and betrayal. They interviewed their neighbours, she continued. Apparently, your parents have been lying to everyone for years about where their money came from, called themselves successful investors. Well, they did invest, I said dryly, in London's Instagram lifestyle, using my money. My phone buzzed again, an email from the Florence Art Institute. Dear Ms. Patricia, following our investigation, we are cooperating fully with authorities regarding the fraudulent loan applications. We have also revoked your sister London's admission and will be notifying other institutions about this incident. They're blacklisting her, Titus explained. No reputable art school will touch her now. Malachi squeezed my shoulder. How are you feeling about all this? I looked around the room, at Heidi's unwavering support, Titus's legal brilliance, Malachi's quiet strength. Then, at my laptop, open to my business plan for the branding agency, I could finally afford to start. I paused, considering. Free. A final notification popped up. London had tagged me in a post, a throwback photo of us as kids with a long dramatic caption about betrayal and forgiveness. Still trying to control the narrative, Heidi snorted. Let her! I closed the laptop. She can post all she wants. The truth is, in the bank statements, the legal documents, and the police reports. Speaking of truth, Malachi said, ready to look at some office spaces for your agency? I stood up, leaving my phone and all its notifications behind. Lead the way. Behind me, I could hear Heidi reading another comment from her blog. Best revenge story ever. She didn't just get mad, she got even with receipts. She wasn't wrong, but the best revenge wasn't watching them fall. It was finally being able to rise. Ready for the big reveal? Maliki held the door open to my new office space. The morning sun streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating the modern furniture and sleek design elements we'd chosen together. Heidi bounced in behind me, carrying a bottle of champagne. First client meeting in an hour. How are those butterflies? Surprisingly calm, I said, running my hand along my new desk. The nameplate read, Patricia, founder and CEO, Clarity Branding Agency. My phone buzzed. A news alert. I'd kept them active, not out of spite, but as closure. Local couple pleads guilty to financial fraud, I read aloud. My parents took a plea deal. 6 months house arrest, 5 years probation, and full restitution. Titus strode in, legal papers in hand. Plus, they're barred from taking out any loans or credit cards for 10 years. Where will they serve the house arrest? Heidi asked. Their new 1-bedroom apartment, I replied, the one they had to downsize to after the foreclosure. Maliki started setting up for the client meeting. Have you heard from London? She's working as a barista now. Heidi checked her phone. Her last Instagram post was about finding beauty in simple things, with a photo of the coffee shop's tip jar. The elevator dinged. My first potential client walked in, a tech startup looking for complete brand development. As I stood to greet them, another notification popped up on my phone, a text from Mom. I know we don't deserve forgiveness, but I want you to know we understand now. What we did, what we took from you. I'm sorry. I slipped the phone into my desk drawer. The time for family drama was over. Welcome to clarity, I smiled at my clients. Let's talk about your vision. The meeting flew by. When they left, they'd signed a contract worth more than all the money I used to send my parents in a month. They loved you, Malachi grinned, clearing away coffee cups. Because she's actually talented, Heidi added, unlike some influencer artists we know. My phone buzzed again in the drawer. London had emailed, Sis, I get it now. Working this job, earning minimum wage, I finally understand what it means to actually work for something, to struggle. I know it's too late, but I'm sorry. L. Delete? Heidi asked, reading over my shoulder. No, I said quietly. Archive, but don't respond. Titus returned from filing the final legal paperwork. The restitution payments will start next month. Your parents' social security and pension will be garnished until you're paid back in full. It's not about the money anymore, I said, looking around my office. It's about this, what I built despite them. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the floor. Malachi brought in a small gift bag. Office warming present, he smiled. Inside was a framed quote, Success is the best revenge. Almost right, I said, setting it on my desk. But success isn't revenge at all. It's liberation. My laptop pinged. 3 new client inquiries. Heidi, now my head of digital strategy, was already pulling up their information. Look at this, she grinned. They found us through that viral post about your story. They say they want to work with someone who understands authenticity and truth in branding. I laughed at the irony. My family's betrayal actually helped launch my business. Speaking of launches, Malachi pulled out a calendar. The Small Business Association wants you to speak next month. Topic: Overcoming Financial Abuse to Build Your Dreams. Book it, I nodded. Someone needs to hear that story. The day wound down. Heidi left to prep our social media strategy. Titus headed out to file the final restitution paperwork. Malachi lingered, straightening pictures on the walls. Having regrets? He asked softly. I looked at my phone one last time. Mom, Dad, and London's messages sat unanswered. Their attempts at apology, understanding, reconciliation, all too late. No, I said, turning off my phone. They taught me something valuable in the end. What's that? That some people will drain you dry in the name of love, and sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. He took my hand. Ready to go home? I grabbed my keys to my office, my business, my future. All mine, earned through work and truth, not manipulation and lies. Actually, I smiled, I am home. Outside my office window, the city lights began to twinkle on. Somewhere out there, my family was learning to live with the consequences of their actions. But in here, in this space I'd created, their power over me had finally completely evaporated. I didn't forgive them. I didn't need to. I just stopped letting them matter.